whatever, if you want to assign connected to ethnic background or what, the many times victims of crime are also lower fixed income. So whatever demographic, whatever ethnic background that is, they're going to get more negatively impacted by crime. And when we go into communities like that, I'll just speak of my own experience as a person, since I can speak on that. I would say that the feedback that we get is, when we go into housing, is they would like nothing better than to have some person there all the time on our capacity.
Yeah.
Like, can you just stay here all the time?
Right?
Yeah. No, we can't stay here all the time, but we will come when we can and when we're called, obviously, for service. But it's such an interesting contrast from the narrative sometimes, and I don't want to say it's confusing, but I'll say it's very interesting that the people that are directly impacted by crime and things like that, as the victim of some unfortunate circumstance like property crime, where they cannot afford to buy another car or fix something if some car gets broken into or stolen because they need it for their 2 jobs. They would like nothing more than to have someone in our capacity around their property all the time, because they don't have the capacity to afford other stuff like security or a camera or
living in a neighborhood where crime isn't
or a gated
prevalent.
area or whatever else. I mean,
Yeah.
It's so there's a huge amount of irony in that, and that's fine. I mean, it's interesting that sometimes it's pointed out, and I guess people don't recognize that. But that's all I want to say about that. It's just my personal experience with communities that have the unfortunate situations where you cannot afford. They're actually the most grateful of all the communities, which is why I like working with them the most, because I can really genuinely tell that they appreciate. Doesn't matter where it is. Could be a shelter, could be King County Housing, like all the places that I can think of that we have these interactions with. Doesn't even matter what age, but young, old. The feedback is always gratitude, and I don't know. That's why that's one piece of our job that is one of the most rewarding, and whatever the national narrative is, I mean, we can be whatever. We have no control over that. I know from my own personal self that when we walk into those communities that are in our city, we can feel the support.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it's not. I mean, I know it's not always like that everywhere, and there's some places that maybe don't have as much of it. But I can tell. I mean, that's why I'm so grateful to have to work where I work, because I can feel it as soon as I go there, and that's why I keep going back. I keep going back because I feel like it's reciprocal, and it's beautiful. Like that's the whole point of having our job in that capacity, because some people are not able to defend themselves physically or and we're not always able to intervene and stop stuff. But if something does happen, who's going to advocate for that person now? What organization is going to do that? I mean, usually it's just us.